how drugs have influenced both musical artists and their audience. Contents page. You've seen this one? Introduction. We said that drugs and music have an intertwined history. We can go as far to say that several musical movements are associated either directly or indirectly with a specific recreational drug or drugs. Through research, I will look at and analyse the aspects of drugs' relationship to the creator and the listener of music. I will structure my report, like the introduction about 5 words, and we're going to look at specific genres, and then look at the artist, how the artist affect by drugs, and how the audience are. Research I'll undertake. Looking at specific genres throughout music, that can be noted as stereotypically known for drug use. So that's why I picked things like rave, jazz, reggae. Going by stereotypes now. Review literature written on the subject and account from artists in forms such as autobiographies. I was going to do a questionnaire, but I don't like the idea much anymore because it's not going to be very. It's just a local questionnaire. I could get some big on the internet maybe, but a local questionnaire is not going to be very informative. I'm going to try and get interviews with artists from websites such as YouTube and Dailymotion that can't be obtained in written form. Look at TV documentaries such as PBS America's Jazz, radio programs, and I need to look into the science behind how drugs affect the mind and creativity and how they affect how you listen to music. Questions I'll consider. Is the creativity of the songwriter heightened by the consumption of drugs? Is music listening enhanced or degraded by drugs? Are certain genres of music more intertwined with drugs than others? Finds to depth. Jazz. Miles Davis takes his autobiography. A lot of musicians were deep into drugs, especially heroin. Musicians were considered hip in some circles if they shot some. From an audience perspective, drugs were used to preserve the euphoria of the art life, the energy of the music. And psychedelic music. Or for a rock and pop, and big story said, it was practically born out of LSD acid. In the song Crying in the Nose, released in 1966, the Beatles attempted to recreate the mood of LSD. Rave. Drug-based pop audience, drug taking could be seen as part of the experience as described in Rave Off, as the combination of dance music and ecstasy slides the body into an amphetamine flux. Reggae? What's the reggae artist saying? They have lots of songs about promoting taking drugs, which is different starts in the songwriting. It's not just songwriting influenced by drugs, it's songwriting actually about drugs themselves. There's some artists of note. Moving forward, I need to read the rest of the books I found on the subject. Look for books on online journals and articles related to drugs and the brain, because I haven't really looked into that at all. Ascertain their effect on creativity and the way sound is processed. Listen, some references.
Okay. Thank you, John. That was a super speedy run through. Can you pull back your slide that said references and bibliography, please? Yeah, please, yeah. Okay. Okay, great, thank you. Has anybody got any questions? Guys, this is your job to ask questions. Okay, so you need to start doing that. Okay, John, I've got some questions for you. It seems to me that you're setting up this a duality here. So you've got the artists and you've got the audience. Why do you want to look at both?
Well, I think they have effects on each other. So.
Do you think they're used in different ways for different purposes?
Yeah.
And what would they be?
Well, I think a lot of artists will use the drugs to maybe create music, and then the listeners using it to alter their perception of that music, rather than.
But an artist wouldn't take drugs, so it would alter their perception of.
Well, yeah, I suppose.
I think what we've got here is both of those two issues are massive, and I think you do well to perhaps choose one over the other. That's not to say you can't talk of the other one, but I think you need to, rather than having a foot in both camps, I think you need to stop hedging your bets and choose one. Because then once you've done that, you can really focus on that wholeheartedly. But it would be up to you where your interest lies more, whether it's in the creative process or whether it's in the recreational process. So you'd need to sort of work out which you'd prefer to investigate. Similarly with Louise's, I think there's a danger of, because it said towards the end that you hadn't really looked into cognitive effects or anything like that. I think there's a danger, as there is with Louise's, of getting perhaps pulled too far that way. I think at the moment you're quite clear about what it is that you want to look at, so don't let that sort of sidetrack you too much. I'd also say creativity and drug use. How are you going to measure that?
That's where I was hoping there might be some sort of, when it comes to the brain, just to sort of maybe disprove or prove whether that's actually...
I think there will be an awful lot of information online that you can access. Just be very thorough about what it is that you actually include, that it's all verifiable material. I think particularly with the likes of neuroscience, it's still, even though it's kind of framed within science, it's still relatively unproven. And so you need to be quite careful about how you move forward with that. One last thing, I'd question rave as being a pop scene.
Yeah, I found that in...
Did you mean as in popular?
No, I actually said that in a book called Rave Off, and I was like...
But did they mean it as popular rather than pop? Because I think the way that we use those two terms are different.
Yeah, I think so, maybe. It did say the word pop, not popular, but probably they didn't.
Because I'd absolutely agree that it was popular, but I wouldn't say that it was pop. There's no, because pop was the genre, whereas popular or populist would be a different sort of aspect. Just be clear about how you mean to use those. Otherwise, I'll think that you mean the genre rather than it being popular. Yeah, excellent. Thanks very much. Thank you.
Cheers.